We live in really, really interesting times, man. Every single thing that the left has told you about Donald Trump or that Donald Trump would do, they are, as usual, guilty of themselves, completely guilty of themselves. That's always been the case. But the amazing thing now is everybody sees it. And when I say everybody, man, I mean everybody. The only people who pretend not to see it are so intellectually compromised and just stuck in their own tribalist loop and internet echo chambers that they have no choice. If they admit what they see, if they actually admit what's going on, everything they stand for is destroyed. Their entire worldview just falls apart right in front of their eyes, and they're worthless without it. They have nothing. But real people see it. Everything they've accused Donald Trump of, the left is guilty of. And everything they've tried to do to the man has backfired completely epically.
Thank you for joining us here today. Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts.
This case is an abomination. You know, it's obviously political. 7 years to try to come up with this case. They're just wrong on the law.
The only crime that Donald Trump is being prosecuted for is the crime of running for president.
Political persecution at the highest level.
They've quite frankly given up on trying to beat him at the polls. Either going to steal it or stop it by law firm.
A Democrat prosecutor elected on a Get Trump platform.
Literally nothing they are doing is working. Every single thing they do makes Donald Trump stronger. And, you know, it's easy to understand why. Everything they're doing is wrong. I mean, they just keep going back to the same old well, the same old playbook with the same old players doing the same stupid and wrong and more unbelievable things, you know, and people are waking up, man. Even Maxine Waters is getting more and more unhinged. I honestly didn't think that was possible.
Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
That was then, and this is now. But she is definitely not improving.
It's Trump is on trial. You have Letitia James in New York, Fannie Willis in Georgia, and you have Tanya Chunkin, who is a judge, who all have a role to play now.
His days are numbered. His days are numbered.
We've got to get ready to mobilize, and we've got to get ready to agitate and irritate until victory is won, but more importantly, until Trump is defeated.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass.
And by the way, he's doing it in the South Bronx not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he always has to be in court.
But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir?
They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. So as you know, they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be.
You know, every single thing they do, every stupid thing they say, every goofy, creepy mask face that Joe Biden makes to simple questions just reveals more and more of the actual truth. And these are the results.
It is. I want to go back to the black vote because you've talked, I was listening to one of your interviews and you astutely talk about how from a metrics point of view, the poverty rate is at an all-time low, their wages are at an all-time high. None of it makes sense. So please explain the hemorrhaging of the black vote, particularly black men.
Well, all right, let's start. Joe Biden has been the best president economically that black America's ever had. You can say that Lyndon Johnson had voting rights and civil rights, and Obama was a huge figure in Black American history. But in terms of everything, it's hard to beat Joe Biden's record. It's hard to beat Joe Biden's record in terms of appointments. I mean, there's no one that's appointed more Black Americans to more senior positions than Biden. And what's happened, and I've said this before, part of it is a male problem. We have a huge male problem.
Yes, sir.
We have a huge male problem all across the board, but particularly, I hate this term, but I'll use it, communities of color, like as if all people that are not white are the same. It's stupid. And I do think, and people got a little upset with me when I told Maureen, New York Times, but I think democratic culture has too many preachy females. It's too much. Don't eat hamburgers. Don't watch football. All right. Wear condom. Like, man, shit, leave me alone. You okay? I got a goddamn life to lead. Guy works at a tire repair shop in suburban Atlanta. Working 50 hours a week, making $16.50 an hour. And he wants to watch the football game. And he wants to smoke dope and drink beer. And then everybody's telling him he's slothful, and they reject that shit. And I just think some of it is cosmopolitan condensation, if you will. Like you need to lead the kind of life we lead, not the kind of life you lead. And it pisses people off.
Well, that's across the board. That's black, white. That's a big part of Trump. That's a big part of Trump.
It's Hispanic. We're going to lose Hispanic males.
Yeah.
We're going to lose them.
And that's on that male-female issue. That's on, it very much they want to see the strong, this is a generalization, but strong dominant male in a household.
Honestly, I have absolutely zero clue what the hell they're even talking about. And still, even with that, those are some of the most reasonable sounding Democrats. The hilarious thing is that, truly funny, because you have to laugh at this stuff. This just shows perfectly who they are, who they really are. Carville says that the problem is that Democrat women are too preachy, just as he preaches to everybody else that they've never had it better. His answer is, let people slave away for peanuts, let them smoke dope and drink beer. Just make sure that they know that they've got Democrats to thank for it all. This is what these people are. This is who they are. They have absolutely nothing. They have no real record to run on. They have no real policy ideas. They have nothing. So when you have nothing, this is what you become.
It's so important for us to fight for education, because when we do that, we can aspire to careers that will help change what goes on in this country and have a real democracy. I want to give you an example of it. Right now, as Trump is on trial, you have Letitia James in New York. You have Fannie Willis in Georgia. And you have Tanya Chunkin, who is a judge, who all have a role to play now, prosecutors and judges. And if we're ever to change the criminal justice system and get some justice, we've got to be in there. We've got to be educated. And that's why we're not going to give up, because now we see what it means. Let me just tell you a little something that I tweeted, and that's this. When they go low, black women are going to law school. When they go low, black men are becoming judges. When they go low, we're not giving up. We're going to continue.
I gotta wonder, man, do you think that she thinks men like Clarence Thomas or Byron Donalds, do you think that they're men that she thinks are an example? She talks about changing the system, but I don't think that she really means the system. I don't think she's talking about changing its color. I don't think she means more power and more opportunity for men that may see themselves in Byron Donalds or Clarence Thomas. She doesn't mean that at all. When she talks about changing the system, she purely means along partisan lines. They don't want more power for blacks. They want more power for Democrats. And they think that they can use blacks as a tool to make that happen. And for a lot of years, for decades, they have kind of been able to do that, but it is not working anymore.
Recent poll has Biden down nearly 30% among black voters since the 2020 election. What's changed? Look at the economy. The optimal color is not black or brown, it's green. You hear me say that almost every day. Trump has gained 15 points in that time.
Without a doubt, it is not working anymore. And, the way they're going, I cannot imagine that it ever works again. I don't think that there is any amount of gaslighting that these people can do to maintain control of people's minds, as they literally destroy everything. But I don't know. But we'll see how it shakes out. There's basically a lifetime to go until November. I think we're going to have some pretty wild surprises, but that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, Be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.